Hello and welcome to TrMF, where the lines are made up and our points don't matter. What's up, Dylan?
What up, Drew Carey?
Buzzwords and celebrities.
Buzzwords.
Yes.
How are you today, man?
We're doing all right, man. We got all kinds of crazy shit for you today. I have never felt so much like a crazy, all right, so here's what you gotta do kind of guy. I've been into this new Threads app, and so I feel.
And he's going to tell you the secret to the whole thing. You just got to honor system, pay us $9.95 before you listen to this podcast, and then he'll tell you how to work Threads to be a famous millionaire.
Yes, if you'd like to be a famous millionaire, contact us with your credit card information at
THESErMYFRIENDS at gmail.555.proxy.com.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's an entirely safe link. You can click that. Anyways.
It's not a Mirror Pirate Bay link. Wait, I don't even know what that is. Pirate Bay.
If you understand Russian, just don't bother going there.
There we go. So we talk about Threads. We talk about industry plans. Wah, wah, wah. I don't know why that's not worthy of it.
Because we don't like industry plants.
Or do we?
It's got bad connotation to it.
Yeah.
Some people give it a bad rap.
People that are famous because they deserve it or because they have money. You be the judge.
And social media, the tips, the tricks, the struggle, mostly just trying to find an audience. I think that's all that any artist ever wants, is just to find the people that give a shit.
We need our people. We need our friends. We're a bunch of friends with no friends. What is that?
Oh, we got real friends in real life, but they're boring.
Yeah, we need virtual friends like you.
Them.
Yeah.
We bring them on here to make them more interesting.
And then they can be. They are. Sometimes. They exhale notable stuff once in a while.
You be the judge.
And then the last thing is who be dis. We ask real names, and he's got to figure out who the rapper is. It's a fun little trivia segment.
I like that.
Real names, and then he gives me the rapper. Did he pass or did he fail? You'll find out if you listen to These Are My Friends.
Drop the beat. Yo.
What up?
I was a little bit concerned your house was collapsing a second ago because of the creaking in the roof. I think there's a large person moving around above us.
Just got a whole family living in the attic. It's all good.
Okay, dope.
That's the only way you can afford rent in Victoria. Every floor has to have somebody.
Into someone's attic and live there with your family.
Exactly. Precisely. Yeah.
Fair enough.
It ain't easy, but they're nice people.
Don't ask, don't tell. I pretend I don't even know.
Yeah. So welcome to These Are My Friends. This is my friend Daniel Dan. I am Dillion.
The Dillionaire, as we like to call him.
Yeah, because I got about $10 in my bank account.
Oh.
Which makes me rich in Victoria.
Humble brag. Let's go.
So how you been? What's up? What's the past week been like for you? Same.
It blinked by, dude. It was really fast. I was just here with you a minute ago, it feels like.
Yeah, and I turned 30, and I didn't become famous. I remember in the last episode we were talking about I had 7 days to be the same age as Party Next Door and be as famous as he is, and I didn't do it. I didn't achieve my level of stardom, but I don't know Drake.
You didn't get the lottery ticket before that.
Yeah, right.
Dang, the old hard work lottery ticket.
Wasn't cutting it for me, man.
I feel like that's what it is, man. I feel like all the hard work you put in is just like you're buying more and more and more lottery tickets. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, and then one day it will pay off. Unless you know Bill Gates.
The odds. It may never, but at the same time, the only way to do it, it's like playing the lottery. Your chance is however many tickets you buy in however many people buy the thing, obviously. Very simple.
Yep, millions.
This is just everybody putting their music, their art, their podcasts, their selves, their entire brands out there. And then you're going to buy as many lottery tickets as you can. That's like your posts, your podcasts that you do, your songs that you make, your t-shirts you design, all the pictures you do to promote it, your posters, your shows you attend. So all those are just like types of, extras, Lotto Maxes, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just a gamble on if people dig it or not, or if you happen to get in front of a big audience, or maybe one of these people who are already goated by the time they're 30 years old sees your shit and goes, these guys are actually cool. You guys check these guys out. And then you end up with one of those awesome Twitch raids where, everybody just like mobs onto like a smaller Twitch stream. You know what I mean by those?
Totally. A raid. Yeah, it was where they you have maybe 100 people watching your stream, and then some big guy raids you, so they get sends his fan base over to you, and then you get 1,000, and then hopefully maybe a few of them will stick.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's perfect. That's a perfect leeway into maybe the first subject that we're going to do. And by maybe, I mean
you always say this. You say leeway, but you mean segue.
I'm just going to stick to it.
Okay. Here we are, dancing.
My brain is hardwired
from one topic to the other with a flawless, seamless leeway. Okay. Lead the way, dude.
So I like that comparison. Trying to make something that is to do with anything of sort of fame, and it's not even the fame, just anything to do with any sort of status that requires other people to appreciate what you're doing, aka music. You need a fan base. podcast, you need a fan base. You don't need to. It's fun to do, but to make it pay the bills and to keep on doing it, you need some sort of fan
if you
base,
want
or
it
else
to be funding itself at
exactly.
all. You know, these
So it's
things
kind
are
of like-
not cheap. You know,
That's and all the gear and all the time and all the stuff that you got to
it's really
do.
the time.
Yeah, it's and time is valuable, right?
Yeah.
So it is kind of like a lottery if you don't know anybody. But if you're funded by other people or have other homies in your back pocket, I mean, you don't need the lottery necessarily. You don't need the lottery to be rich. You're rich because, I don't know, you're in LA and you have a lot of connections. But that's just my kind
I feel
of
like it's becoming less about LA.
outside standing. No, it's the World
there.
Wide Web is worldwide. There's like this group in like South Africa that just build shit, and they just got like over 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
We mean they build shit like
They like literally like just set up a camera of them like digging and like tying wood together and building huts and stuff like that. Just crazily, like pools and stuff, like just with random knickknacks around wherever they are. And I mean, it might not be South Africa. I don't want to be totally carved in stone, so don't come for me. But they just got over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and
See,
like,
that's cool.
and their shit is really cool, and they just build houses and stuff like that. So like, good for those guys.
Of course, we're only seeing them. There's probably, not probably, there are so many guys doing that over there, right? And they're not getting that attention because maybe they're not filming it, right?
And and they're good at what they do, but they didn't have that, entrepreneurial hunch to let's get a camera somehow and shoot this. But that leads me into my first subject of the day, which will be industry plants.
Industry plants.
Yeah, so it's industry plants. It's a music artist associated with a label, but appearing as if they are independent and self-made. A music artist whose popularity is due to marketing efforts alone.
Yeah. So that would be simple enough to do, right? You just find somebody who's got the talent to back it, and then you put an entire team of people behind it and a bunch of resources, make it seem like they did it all themselves and like it was all them.
It's a derogatory statement. Yes, it is, but it's a derogatory statement to a certain degree because like a lot of people that get called industry plants are like, yo, I've been working for like 10 years, man. And yeah, my work paid off and Columbia Records found me and I wasn't planted. Oh, well, I didn't see much of your work before Columbia got you.
So
you know what I mean?
They're
it's
suggesting that they were handed this.
It's a true
career.
Yeah, it's a true thing because there will be like obviously huge execs, and execs have a bunch of connections, and they just see some dude with some like crazy colored hair, a teardrop tattoo, looks like the next e-boy SoundCloud guy, and he's gonna be like, I'm gonna back that guy. You're gonna be a rapper, and then he's a rapper with millions of fans like overnight.
Because there are so many people with talent like that it doesn't really matter. What you really need is just somebody to come along and go because any number of those people have an incredible amount of talent and they won't be seen. But
some more than others. But yeah, so that's
pick one.
It's I don't know.
It's the only way that you'll see past the sea of people with talent.
References are based off just the internet, so don't come for me as if I'm like saying
Who's
this
gonna
as
come
gospel.
for you? Are there people coming for you? He said South Africa, coming for him. Holy crap.
He said that this
SoundCloud
rapper wasn't a hard worker. Yeah,
yeah.
Bastard. Yeah, no. I'm taking what I'm reading off the internet, my research.
Shania Twain, industry plant.
Oh shit.
Hot take.
Yeah. Don't say that. Yeah.
Sarah Jessica Parker, industry plant.
She was put in there. Yeah.
Man, we're gonna find our niche.
She was working at PharmaSave, and some guy just said, "You got the look,
yes,
and you like the smell of dirty diapers." Yeah.
Oh, well, that's where he found her.
Sniffing diapers.
PharmaSave. Yeah. Okay.
So, anyways, so we now have the basic understanding of what an industry plant is. None of these people are confirmed or denied to be industry plants. There's definitely something to do with like we were talking about at the beginning, being backed by somebody, which yet again can't hate the game. I mean, if that was anybody. What I was going to say
before, I kind of messed up my point because I got distracted a little bit. But what I meant is that like there's so many people with talent that all they need is the money. Like you give any of these amazing, talented unknowns that kind of money, and they'll become friggin' huge. You know what I mean? There's so many people with that level of skill and talent and a nice brand, and they're so marketable that if someone was to come along and just go, here's $100,000,
yeah,
from a bunch of investors, they could turn that into millions.
It's just one of those. The reason why it's basically like if you're an industry plant, there's like 75% of the market, like of listeners or whatever, hating on you because it's like, wow, so this person is basically just like all done up, which there has been a few examples of people that were literally like, I'm just going to make you famous. You don't have any talent. You don't have any, like, you don't have the look. Like, none of this is original. It's all, it's none of it's organic. It's all done by us.
Those usually don't last, right?
No, they usually get like, there's like one or two that I'm thinking of that aren't on my list, but I wasn't even going to bring them in just because it is so kind of like, you're right. They came and went. Maybe they had a couple years of stardom and stuff like that, but they get something out of it. I mean, they get a couple $1 million. Like, yeah, I was famous for a little bit. The other thing, wasn't even planning on it, and then some of them, it actually ends up working for them. But the end of the day is the reason why it pisses so many people off is because like the people that don't have those connections, that are genuinely talented and working their arses off for years, and this motherfucker just comes rolling up with some baggy pants, a teardrop tattoo, and they just they're just, and then so
they didn't earn it. It looks like
the argument is that objectively, there's people that are less talented than others being funded, and it's taken out of the already oversaturated market and away from people that deserve it more. Is the reason why they hate on industry plans.
It's true, but the problem is, like, I've been guilty of this before, where you get confused, especially when you're an artist. You get confused thinking that because I like developing my skill set so much, and I am always demanding more of myself, and I like to listen to really talented people at the upper echelons of their art, doesn't necessarily mean that that's what most people want.
Of course.
I'm wearing an Archspire shirt right now, and I love those dudes. And they're like the top of the world in metal right now, in heavy metal, and yet not everybody is looking for that level of technicality, right? They don't want to hear it's too much right now, and they even wouldn't blame you. It's like, go listen to something chill. They listen to hip hop in between, probably, right? It's like not everything is for everyone. Just because it's a high skill ceiling doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's going to want it, and it's
like the best of the ability. Like, I like listening easy,
nice.
4/4, just pop beat. Beautiful voice.
So how do you separate yourself if you're one of those type of people? For how many people are trying to make that happen?
Yeah, it's essentially just all based off, which I'll tell you a couple.
Be yourself.
It's essentially it's just the sheer fact that, oh man, you're only famous because your daddy works at Columbia Records and popped you into it, rather than actually working your ass off, striving for 10 years. It's basically where the hate comes from it. I'm not saying it's wrong either way, and I think the majority of people, maybe not the majority, but if somebody walked up to somebody who has been struggling or whatever, and they're just like, hey man, I'm going to make you rich, all you got to do is kind of play a part. You can just take it as an acting skill. It's like, you know what? I wasn't planning on being a musician, but this person says that I got the look in some sort and I could be rich. I'm not saying me personally would do that, but I'm seeing like a lot of people would be like, yeah, sure. If somebody has like $1 million in your face,
just thinking
are you
about
gonna be like, no way, man. My principles are too good, man. Well, I'm going to go play guitar on the side of the street for 5 cents an hour.
And maybe that somebody wants to do that, and that's punk, right? Go for it.
Punk, yeah.
Sure, dude.
Bro,
it depends what you want
yeah.
out of life, right? Like, if you're happy just doing that, then do it. But like, a lot of us probably just want to perpetuate our art without having to get a bunch of like mundane daily labor in the way of it that distracts from us doing it. It's that 9-to-5ers anthem by Aesop Rock. He says that. I wish I could quote it, but go listen to it. It's good.
Done and done.
Basically, I don't want to, he's like, we all hate working for some goal that isn't our own. We would prefer to be working towards our own ends. That's the whole point of the song. And it's true. Very relatable. Everybody would like that. And so that's why it bugs us when we see somebody being handed their dream, because we're over here shoveling dirt and they would like to be doing what, we'd like to be doing what they're doing instead, but instead we have to wait and work hard. So
like that actually is a perfect example. I was going to say this later, but I'll say it now because it's a perfect segue. I'm into the whole thing that we're talking about. So like one of the biggest like kind of misconception of an industry plant would be Taylor Swift. So yeah. I'm just going to read this short blurb about, she's like, one person who is not an industry plant and has experienced success is the iconic singer-songwriter Taylor Swift. She has no previous associations with the industry. However, her family was wealthy enough to move her from Pennsylvania to Tennessee to help Swift pursue a country music career. Most people would never be able to do the same. Most people must work a regular job to be able to survive and then hope for free time to craft songs. So the fact that she had this one up,
just her family's support,
and anybody would do that. No, not anybody would do that. But it's very nice to see a family supporting somebody if they had the means to do it.
Definitely, not everybody would do that. A lot of people are very, very too afraid to do that, right? Like much more pragmatic than that.
Or their family would be like, "No, you're not going to be a rock star. You're going to get a 9-to-5, and you're not going to do one of these pipe dream careers."
Essentially, we're not going to put all of our investments into lottery tickets, hoping that we win the lottery.
Precisely.
That's kind of what their family decided. Let's do it. Our daughter's got talent, and she's got a dream.
But then she also had the safety net too, right? So it's like, and if she fails, which I know my daughter's going to be the best, which she is like literally the best. Yeah. But if she fails,
she also got screwed by this industry, right? And then she also came back at it, and that's what she's becoming bigger than ever because she's fighting back against these same kind of industry guys.
Yeah, and that goes to show, like, obviously none of her family was anywhere in the industry, that they just let her do her thing. And then, she ended up like losing a lot of the rights to her music, her original music, and she had to re-release it, rewrite it, redo it, because Scooter Braun and gang, or whoever the hell
those all
her
sound
main
like
guys,
bad things, right?
ripped her off.
Those all sound like bad things, right? But then again, it's one of those instances of everything happens for a reason, because she's bigger than ever because of that stuff. And she wouldn't be, though, if she wasn't the person she is. It all comes down, I think, this whole time that we've been talking, I think it's all to do with charisma. I think it doesn't 100%. Matter how like evil you are.
They got to see something in you.
You can be so evil and shitty, and you will still have support if you have enough charisma, or if you have all the money and power in the world and you go and do something stupid like call another CEO a cuck in front of the whole world. Everyone ridicules you. Now what are you? It doesn't matter that you're such a billionaire. You're getting clowned by the whole planet.
That's right.
I wouldn't rather be that.
No.
Right? Most of us wouldn't. So it comes down to charisma. If you lose out on the Riz, there's no way that anybody wants to back your brand. So all that these investors are looking for, especially in the music industry, is I have this pile of money. All I want to do is make it into more money, and that's my business. So I got to find someone that's going to do that. And there's a ocean of people to choose from talent-wise. So how do I find the one that's got the charisma?
Exactly.
It has to be the brand, the style, right? Who's that one that people are just naturally gravitating towards?
So that's why it's so hard to say which for sure. Like that, these are all hypothetical industry plans. I don't think there's been a handful of like TikTok people that have been like confirmed 100% industry plans, but like, who's to say that they didn't have some sort of talent going this direction anyways, and they just got a little bit of a one-up rather than actually being a plant, right?
Right.
So the first one I'm going to talk about is Clairo. I never really listened to her. I know who that is. So here we go. Clairo rose to fame in 2017 after her webcam music video for Pretty Girl went viral. At first glance, it appeared that she had been releasing original music on YouTube and Bandcamp for years, and many attributed her success to YouTube algorithm and pure luck. However, a year after the release of Pretty Girl, some Redditors users began to question Clairo's legitimacy as an independent artist. Not long after, some social media users discovered that her father, Jeff Coatrill, was an executive at her recording studio, Rubber Tracks, and the chief marketing officer at Converse. This leads fans to believe that her father was the mastermind behind her success. Since then, people have alleged that her indie persona was just a marketing ploy engineered by her father. So,
why wouldn't someone try that and be really successful at it, right? Like,
of course.
It's pretty easy to believe, right?
Yep. And like, that's what I'm saying. It's not industry plants, personally, neither here nor there for me, bad. It's just one of those things like Wolfgang Van Halen. His dad was Eddie Van Halen, and now he's a rock star. Like, it's in his blood and his genes, man. Like,
that has its own set of difficulties, right? So like, now you can never, how's he supposed to ever be as cool or even close to half as cool as Eddie fucking Van Halen?
Like the best guitarist of all time. Exactly. So
like one of the most famous human beings ever to grace the earth, especially at a time, in the 80s.
People just be like, oh yeah, you're just famous because your dad was famous. It's like, and that sucks too.
And he's like, he's got to be like, what do you want me to do about it? Am I going to become unfamous? You want me to be
my dad was literally jamming a guitar in my face since I was like, a fetus. Like, what do I do? Right. Yeah. The next one on the list is Lorde. She's do you know Lorde? Yes, of course.
Indeed I do. I like Lorde.
No.
Is she not legit?
No, man, my favorite artist.
Yeah, my favorite.
The New Zealand-born singer-songwriter Lorde was accused of being an industry plant when fans discovered that she was already signed to Universal Music Group, which is like the UMG, the biggest, obviously, when her EP, The Love Club, was released for free on music streaming platform SoundCloud. It was said that the record execs felt confident pushing ahead with an official release when it was downloaded over 60,000 times. Her fame was disguised as organic growth with a strong underdog narrative, while in reality, she was backed by a massive label out the gate.
So her music is awesome, and so that seems to be besides the point. What people are upset, or what people cared about was the fact that
there's marketing too.
Well, of course, it's the marketing that people were upset about, because it looked like she was a homegrown underdog
girl playing acoustic guitar into her shitty DSLR, just or whatever.
But now that they know that,
yeah.
But now that people know where she's at and they already fuck with her music, are they going to be mad about it and not be fans of her anymore? She's still who she is, doing what she does.
Yeah, and she's killing it and stuff like that. And there is the sad reality that there are some people like, oh wow, you were just like, you're a fake. They almost think it like, oh, you lied to me. Oh, how dare you disrespect me and my and
it's going to upset
trust.
people. People are going to get envious and jealous if somebody has something that looks undeserved that they want. Yeah, Instagram models sitting by a pool all day while people shovel ditches. It's
true.
Like, fuck,
I do get like, I can relate to the thing where somebody like is like in love with this artist because it's like, oh man, okay, this person fought the odds, right? Like, oh, this person is not like Lorde. Like, I'm not being mean here. I'm just being like, she's not an ugly girl. I wouldn't say she's a model. So she's kind of like, oh, I can relate to her. She's not a movie star.
She
gorgeous.
wouldn't have made it based on completely on looks.
Right. So like like her, so her fandom, right? It's like they could be like, oh, she's a normal looking girl and she made it big and she made it organically big without connections.
Yeah.
I can do that. That's like a inspiring story for somebody like me, a regular person like me to follow in her footsteps. If she can make it, then I can make it. And then to be found out later that, oh wait, no, never mind.
Turns
Yet again, she was pushed by UMG this whole time.
It's
and
all
her
manufactured
organic
again.
homegirl, hometown, self-made girl was all a lie. So I see where people can get pissed off, right? But at the same time, I don't know. I don't think it's worth like, oh, now your music sucks. It's like making my ears bleed because you lied to me. It's like, you didn't know them. And
at least she's got talent. At least it's like a really talented person instead of just some like weirdly attractive figurehead person who's lip syncing or something actually fake. I don't know. People can, like, I always say this. I always have faith in people that they can sniff out fakeness. Hopefully that they'll be able to see fakeness. Like,
But yeah, exactly. It boils down to talent. But like I said, all I can say is that I can relate to people that feel a little misled. Is basically. I wonder how many
of these plants, Dylan, that have been tried that we never see, that we don't know about because they failed.
Yeah, UMG just and imagine how much that would suck.
Imagine how many.
It's like we're literally giving you all the opportunity to be rich, successful, and loved, and
the song just didn't take. Well, that's straight up happened to so many poor people who they like put their whole life and soul and everything and made the call and they cut this version of their song and they even got backed by the biggest label in the world and then people just didn't care. They didn't buy it.
They're like, I'm not vibing this dude,
just
or a girl,
cool.
Yeah,
or it sounded too much like something that was immediately better at the time. You know, try and release a space movie right beside Star Wars coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, you know,
exactly.
It could be an awesome movie.
Too. Yeah, there's a whole other part of the equation other than money. But
that's right.
That's actually just a little side note.
That's
like it's like kids that are in hockey. They play hockey literally their whole life. And that is something that is just straight skill, right? There's like, you can't fake skill.
No, I played hockey for like 15 years. Yeah.
There's no auto-tune for skating and shooting. There isn't. It's just you exactly. You got to be talented, or you got it or you don't, kid.
Yeah.
So I was talking to some family friends.
Oh, I didn't have it.
Who me neither. I never had the chance to play hockey. I played it like with my friends, but like. Yeah. Anyways, I won't go into my sad life. But this was somebody else that I was talking to, young kids. They play for the Royals here in town and stuff like that. Anyways, I don't want to go too specific because I don't want to be dropping names or anything like that. Just somebody I know through a friend of a friend. Anyways, they were talking about people going to, what do you call those, drafts? Where they like you're literally sitting in a chair and you're going to be first round draft, second round draft, third round draft to be picked out from the NHL, or you're going to be on a camp team, a farm team, and hang around and hope and pray that literally your whole life's work of being a hockey player is going to lead you into some sort of NHL. So then there's even like the third stringer, like the people like, so you have the
or
goalies,
like a scholarship even or something.
Yeah, but like, so you have the goalies, right? So you have like the main goalie, second line, and then the third stringer. So like the first guy is obviously playing, the second guy has his pads ready, the third guy is probably eating potato chips and watching the game and doesn't even get to put skates on.
No, that guy's probably working harder than all of them because he's like just dying to be there. He's fighting. He's like on the edge of the cliff with his fingernails right now, just about made it. That's what he's doing. He's in the gym.
So when there's the drafts that happen, I heard that they basically kind of know who they're picking and who they're not picking. Like basically, I think it goes to like 100 round draft picks and stuff like that, which is just random. And so for like the people that they think they pretty much know are going to get picked, they go down to, it's like Nashville or wherever this is held, this conference center is. And like, they're going to obviously be there for the live thing because they're going to get picked and be on TV and stuff like that. It's a huge event. But then there's some people that are like, okay, well, I don't know if I'm going to get picked or not, but I've been doing this my whole life. I'm pretty good. And then they don't show up. They're just waiting at home. And then they might get a message being like, yeah, we picked you. You're playing for Nashville. And they're like, dope, sick. And then there's the certain people that are like, oh, I'm hoping and praying. I'm 22, and if I don't get picked now, that's it for me.
Right.
And then they go all the way down there, spend thousands of dollars to be at this whatever draft conference, and then they don't get picked. And then basically right there when they're leaving, it's so sad. They basically know that up their whole life, the whole thing they've been working towards is gone. It's done. It's like, okay, because once you're not picked, it's very unlikely that, because there's a whole batch next year of new up and comers. It's very unlikely you're going to be picked the next year. And then every year that you go on, you're toast. And
Yeah,
it's
that
imagine
seems
going all
crazy.
the way down there, hoping to be like the end goal for being a hockey player, and then just being like, nope. And then you also know, like, now what do I do? Go into Taekwondo?
The best you have at that point is your body and your skills, and hopefully you play hockey for the rest of your life because you love the game. But
Of course, it's for
at
the love.
least with an artist, you have your art after.
Right,
You
right.
know, that's actually something I've never really thought of it that way. Like as an athlete when I was younger, I never really had aspirations to do it professionally. I was like, I'm not going to be that good.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way, right? So I just was having fun and working out and hanging with my friends and playing hockey and baseball and stuff. So that was always
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I did that. It helped me build my team skills, my social skills. My body was strong. I had fun, my coordination, whatever. Thank you, parents, for putting me in sports all my life, right? But I feel terrible for people who like put their whole heart and soul, like you're saying, and then it doesn't end up happening for them.
Yeah.
And then they don't even have like albums left after. Like at least I've got like I can look back at my albums and go, so the world didn't like
there.
it.
Yeah.
At least there's something here now. I can look at, I can listen to, I can show my homies or whatever. Right. Like that's cool. So wow, yeah. No,
And the other thing too is that there is always a chance that could somehow turn into something like with your art later
still
on.
an asset.
Just because it's not now doesn't mean that later on it's not going to get picked up.
Yeah.
Where you're not going to be 30 years old and somebody's going to randomly decide to put you on the Nashville Predators or whatever.
Suddenly it's time to go.
Yeah, now it's not.
Holy
now we want you,
shit.
kid. Strap your skates in.
They finally realized I'm a dope defenseman. Holy fuck.
Yeah, man. Why? How we
Times
missed
have
this
changed.
guy? Yeah. So, anyways, so then back to the industry plant side of things. I got one more for us.
Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, he was a
He
plant.
had his entire thing. He's been playing hockey since he was a kid.
Artificial intelligent skates. Just saying. That's
not
it.
fair.
Yeah, he had it on his feet, controlled by his father, Walter, the whole time.
Man.
So the last industry plant
old
is
take,
a guy named, do you know Dominic Fike? He's a relatively new artist. He's pretty dope. He had that street light of a mata. I don't even know the damn words to any of these songs. You could have one and you want it all. And maybe when you got it. Anyways, it's like new
I do
kind
like
of...
that you sing me songs on the podcast that I will never know. What the fuck?
It's a...
I'm sorry, I don't know what that one is. In the jungle.
You don't know?
You don't know?
Famously sung by Pumbaa? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He was an industry plant.
Oh my god. It goes right to the top.
Anyways, Dominic Fike, he's relatively recent, last like 2018 and beyond, famous. Anyways, I got a couple things to say about him. So he rose to fame after signing with Columbia Records without any previously released music, leading to false accusations of being an industry plant. He signed to Columbia Records for a reported $4 million without a buzz or a hit. So he was just like, Columbia was just like, here's $4 million, and he had nothing to show for it. And that's people are like, what the fuck?
Stopped
Who's this
him
guy?
on the side of the road. Who, me? Oh, well,
Yeah,
sure.
you
I can
boy.
kind of sing. Yeah. Okay, come in here with us. You've got that look.
I mean, basically
okay.
what happened to Pamela Anderson, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Gee, well,
But-
a little bit less of a joke there.
I mean, she was just beautiful.
You!
I was like, you're beautiful. Yeah. Rolling Stone even made a statement. It was like the label threw a reported $4 million to a ghost. So he was around, so the contrary to all this, he was around music his whole life, his whole younger life. He had actually a very hard upbringing. His mother was always dealing in and out of trials in jail and such like that because of drug related charges. His dad was never around and stuff like that, but some family friends got him into music though. And he's always been playing guitar. He learned guitar and he loved it. It was one of his things that he used to keep his mind off of,
Yep.
his
Stayed
kind
out
of
of
rough
trouble.
life in Florida, I believe it was.
Keep him out of trouble.
So he started a rap collective actually like in 2010, 2011 called Backhouse with his friends. That was like a SoundCloud thing that was doing some shit.
Rapping.
Yeah, he was rapping and shit, and it was actually like, it wasn't doing anything good, but his friends liked it. A lot of like, he had a very, very, that small bubble of fame, you know what I mean? Like locally. Did some
practice
shows. Yeah, exactly. He was doing some cool shit. And he had a SoundCloud presence from 2010 and beyond. In 2016, he actually got into trouble with the law and attempted to break up a fight with his brother. Which ended up him pushing a cop and getting a battery charge for pushing this cop. So he was under house arrest for 6 months. So this is all while his SoundCloud career is kind of doing stuff and stuff like that. So we already know that
Imagine
he's not an
that
industry
you're trying to
plant.
break up a fight and you shove a cop and then you're in fucking trouble. That's
And then he was,
man.
and he was darker skin colored, so he probably didn't have
Clearly,
the best representation for him, getting him out of that.
Cool.
So
Great.
he probably, it was against him the whole way. But anyways, so he got charged with battery and then he was sentenced to 6 months house arrest. So basically he had nothing but time. And he did have a manager from his like beginning, like with his with his first rap collective and
Okay,
the
so
SoundCloud
we're going to do
stuff.
for 6 months.
He had a manager, and his manager's like, yo, man, well, blessing in disguise. I'm going to buy you everything you need. You're just going to sit here for 6 months and make music. And he was just like, fuck, okay, cool.
Maybe I should be pushing a cop today.
Yeah,
Find
exactly.
a cop to
It's
go
like,
shove.
whoa. Yeah, so that's one of those things that's like
Win-win.
arg. So he ended up working on some stuff. As you know, 6 months is not a lot amount of time, especially by yourself, to make music and record it, produce it, do all that.
Time goes really fast.
And like 6 months, it's hard to make
You got to grind
a
it.
full, a full track, let alone a couple full tracks, like, and fully produced with a guy. He did all the producing himself, but that's just because he never had anybody in his bubble that could do it for him.
You gotta
so
kinda
he's
do
one of
shit
those
yourself.
grinders. He did it all, right?
Got to do it yourself sometimes if you want it done right. If you want it done at all. Well,
So anyways, his probation was done, and then he had a drug test, and he failed it. So then he was sentenced to 7 months in jail right after his probation. So now he's in jail. So he thought that his small fan group, like a fan base around him, was going to forget about him. So he was just like to his homie from jail. He's like, yo, those tracks I've been working on the last 6 months, can you just like release a small EP called Don't Forget About Me? They're not. And then his friend's like, dude, they're not done. Like, I'm listening to them. They're raw. They're not done. And he's like, I don't care, man. I just don't want my like what I have to go away.
Yeah, I
because
feel
people will
that.
move on quickly, right?
Yeah.
So then his homie was like, all right, dude, set him up. They kind of made like a little like an EP out of it. I think it was like 3 tracks, 4 tracks,
Cleaned it
whatever.
up a little bit. It made it presentable enough.
Boom. That small EP garnered 50,000 downloads in a week. And then it got attention from record labels, which he also says that he'll give the accolades also to. He has homies in the industry. I don't know who Yeek is, but apparently he's an artist, a big enough artist to have friends of execs in pretty big recording companies.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy named Yeek, also he contributes some of the success for Yeek, showing those guys
Shout out Yeek.
his muke. His muke.
You?
Yeek showed him
Wait,
his muke.
what's his name? What?
So Yeek showed some of the execs Dominic Fike's music.
Okay.
And he he contributes to that. But anyways, he made that 3 EP thing, released it from jail, raw, and it was one of his most notable stuff.
These executives
got
are just
popular. Yeah.
I'm sorry, my brain just went to these executives sitting in a room. All right, bring in the Yeek of the week, and then dude comes in. All right, I got the best guy for you. Here he is. Okay, he's in jail right now, but we can't forget about him.
That's
Anyway.
so funny. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeek of the week.
Sorry, more important stuff. Go on.
So basically, this raw EP that he was like just told his friend to release for him was his most notable stuff, and it got attention from some executives, and then bam, that's when that deal happened.
What could be
with
more
Columbia.
inspirational than that? Like you're in jail and you're getting traction.
For the longest, so basically, I'm just saying for the roundabout point of industry plants. Like this guy was basically labeled industry plants. Like, how does this get? So after he was signed for $4 million, they reported $4 million. We're back to where the story began.
Yeah.
There was a bidding war, and while the bidding war was happening, and he knew he was going to get signed, he told his manager, "Wipe all my shit off the internet. I want a fresh presence. I just want a fresh presence." Because he was going from rap to like kind of indie pop rock.
Sure.
So he's just like, get rid of all that. I just want a fresh presence. So then the bidding war happens, and then that's when people see him. And then they're like, how does this kid with nothing get all this? Get Columbia,
Right.
like one of the biggest record companies, to come after him. And you know what I mean?
So it's not nothing, but it was as far as like his digital presence, it was nothing
gone
because they wiped it off.
Yeah,
there.
they couldn't find nothing. Yeah.
Right.
So that's where the misconception of industry plants come from. It's like, just because at the time of signing, you don't know the backstory and what happened. So yeah, I like I said,
Yeah.
don't know how to feel about industry plants per se. There's definitely some worse than others, but like somebody like this, he was not an industry plant. He
always
was working
been
his ass
kinda-
off since he was a little boy.
I feel like it's just sort of it's a nearsighted thing. When I was younger, I would be angry at pretty much any pop artist. I'd be like, man, this song is so simple and easy, and why did they get so many, so famous?
Right,
and da-da-da.
right.
And then I slowly I don't know what it is necessarily, and I guess it's just pure charisma and branding and marketing and all that, having a force of money behind you, lots to do with money. But really, it's just, I don't know, there had to be something at the core of it, right? Why on the fuck would so many thousands and millions of dollars be going into making someone into a star if they weren't, if those investors didn't think that it would come back to them in tenfold?
Of course, these guys
right?
are literally.
Why would you go pluck
they're
Rihanna?
entrepreneurs.
Why would you go pluck Rihanna out of
Barbados.
But exactly, and you know, because she's made so much, she's made like an entire industry of people, you know, so much money, and herself, and
Right.
she was, because she had something at her core, right? Yeah, she had help. Did she deserve it? Yeah. You know, do
talented
other
as
people
hell.
deserve it? Yeah,
Yeah.
but they, you know, like somebody had to be the one.
Yeah.
She was beautiful. She had the whole thing. She had enough charisma. She was bad enough.
Animosity and
you know?
jealousy at the end of the day, I think a little bit. At the same time, I do, like I said, that is
get
my final stand on it, is like, I don't hate the player, hate the game.
That's
essentially.
it. Yeah.
But
Be
I mean,
glad
like,
for the player.
the one thing is that if there is, which has happened a few times, those artists that, like, the whole part of the marketing thing is to make them look like they're that hometown girl, frumpy, didn't come from much, and on their own they made it big.
Right.
That was all part of the marketing campaign.
Just lies.
Then I could feel distrust in the artist that I grew up to
Yeah.
love because of that. But other than that, yet again, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Probably wasn't their idea either, though, necessarily, right? They're like, yeah, I'll sign to your record thing. And then they
obviously
go,
wanna be
okay,
a
so here's what
musician.
we're going to do.
Yeah.
You are going to change your name.
Right.
You are going to cut your hair. You're going to start wearing backpacks in every video. You're going to have this aesthetic now. Like, what? But I'm a rapper from LA. Nope. You are a guitarist from, you know,
Yeah, you
the
are an
Midwest.
acoustic guitar player that is
Yep.
singing for her mom.
You know?
Yeah, who's
So-
in the hospital, and her cat just got put down. Yeah.
But none of that's true. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It is now, right? And
Yeah.
so that fakeness obviously is what upsets people for sure. Right? So
Precisely.
you want to believe in that the thing you like is really what it is.
That's right.
It's horrible finding
Yeah.
out the thing you like isn't really what it is.
And that's just
stupid.
That's totally just if somebody got like the mistrust from somebody and they felt like I liked your music because you had good music, but I also liked your story, and now your story is
Yeah.
just a bunch of lies.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's the end of the Industry Planet conversation. Ray, what do you got for me?
Well, apparently it's old news now, but people are on threads, I hear. I'm an old grandpa. I just downloaded the new Twine app. I pay $13 a month to subscribe to Twine, and no one's on there yet, but I'm early. I'm going to get in there. Twine is going to be the new thing.
I told Dan earlier, I'm like, oh man, we're talking about threads. That's old news. And he's like, what the fuck? It came out a week ago.
Dude, what am I supposed to do, man? I can't go back to last week when you signed us up for threads and then just talk about it then, because
Yeah.
we could have, but I didn't know what it was. Now
Yeah.
I do. I'm so late on it. It's been an entire week. People are over it.
Yeah, they're done with it. It's this. Yeah. So obviously you know more about threads probably than I do, because I hopped on day one, but then at the same time I'm like, this is Twitter. I never used Twitter in the first place. What am I doing
Day
with
one
threads?
threader over here. Holy shit. Fucking pew.
No,
Wow.
day one threader.
Man,
We're a couple of
homie is
hashtag
bragging
thread heads.
hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was trying. That's all I did. The first day was try and get a hashtag started, but I don't even think they use hashtags. I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
No hashtags, my friend. This is kind of what I like about it,
It's like,
honestly.
but then how
It's
do you
clean as
gain?
fuck.
How do people find your shit?
You go to them and you share other people's cool shit.
Like, look at my twining blog. I got a whole blog about twining.
No, you don't. Or I don't know what that means. No, that wouldn't work. What are you talking about? You're bad at this. Terrible at this. Give me your phone. No, no, man. You just. I never did Twitter either. I feel crazy because you're all the way over there. I'm looking over you here. Hi, what's up? He's back.
I just had to adjust the camera. So,
But yeah, no, but there's no hashtags on it. It's super clean. You know what else I like? There's no DMs. There's no like private messaging. So there's no like, I don't know. It just feels like when there's a, I don't know, private message thing. It's like, do you want to privately message a band or privately say something to them, or I don't know, not really, right?
9
Like
times
I don't
out of
want to
10
do
they
that.
won't even listen to or look at. Yeah.
No, right? Like I don't want to do that. Like my favorite artists, DM them. No, but like I do want to share their music and I want to share cool art that I see.
So you dig the thread.
I like it. I'm taking a weird approach to it though. I just decided screw it because information is one of the projects that I have more control over than any other.
Right.
Because it's just the two of us, Ben and I, and Ben's pretty easygoing about how I run it, right?
Cool.
I just sort of have been going nuts on it myself. Just anything that piques my interest. If there's a cool, colorful picture, bam. If there's something synthwave related, bam. Anything black metal related, bam. I'm repost. So that's what I like
Is it
about
garnering any followers and stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm right now. I'm at like 950 or something like that.
Followers?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
After like a week or whatever, right? So, or no, it's been 4 days, I think. 950.
Oh man,
960.
I gotta be doing this. Fuck, I really dropped the ball.
Dude, this is what I'm saying,
For,
right?
for us, for These Are My Friends, yeah.
For what it is, right? Because there's not a bunch of fucking horse shit. Like, if you don't want to see this stupid shit, right? It's not
So you almost got
all full
1K followers in a couple days.
Yeah.
Fuck.
information, right? So, but who's to say if those are really synthwave metal fans? But a lot of them are. I've had more people on there than any other social media platform be like, fuck yeah. So the thing about it is I can just post a GIF that I've made recently. I've been making those little GIFs of the little black metal dudes. I can post one of those on a comment of somebody's and it shows up moving. I can put a YouTube link that they can click right away, so I can put them to stuff. I've been really lucky because there's a little trend on there where artists will say, post your green art or blue art, and it'll be like a cool picture that's mostly green or mostly blue or whatever it is. And then you repost it with your own art. So I'm lucky enough that for every single track on our new album, we have a different colored tile.
Nice.
So every time I see one of those posts, I put whatever color corresponds to it, and it gives them a YouTube link to my fucking song.
So to like clarify for this for people, information. If you haven't heard us talk about it before, that's his kind of new collective group. It's
I always pronounce it by like information, but really the band is in formation. Like get into formation. You know, like, but it's spelled with ones and zeros, and it's our black metal synthwave side project with me and Ben from Torify.
Yeah,
so we did it during the pandemic. We spoke about it once or twice, but yeah.
He's released a bunch of tracks on YouTube.
Yeah,
and each one he posted the album cover, but with a different color.
Yeah, there's been different
represent
tiles.
The feeling of the song and such.
Yeah, it has the album art. It has our logo, which is a triangle with an upside down cross, kind of like almost the Triforce, but it's our own kind of thing. And yeah, anyways, you guys see it one day, but we'll post it. But
you got 1K follower in a day or in 4 days. That's shit.
Like 4 days, man. So you do.
I spent like a couple hours on it. I got 11 followers.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple cheesy...
But I was nonsense.
there's a couple cheesy, like follow for follow train kind of like annoying, like give you eye cancer posts that look stupid and are horrible. But like...
That's an old school follow for follower ways to do it.
Right, but at the same time, nobody's really mad at you for doing it. It's like...
Oh, God, no. It's
follows, right?
So, I hated it just because like I love the follower for follower thing, but then... 9 times out of 10, the person's going to instantly unfollow you after like a couple days and be like, "Oh, I just garnered a follower." Or you end up following many accounts of shit you don't care about. Yeah. It's just that group trying to build.
It is a bit of that right now.
And then you just have your whole feed is just a bunch of shit you don't care about. So that's why I've done that like on Instagram when Instagram first came out. I've built accounts on Instagram to like thousands of followers before back in the day.
It's like
and that. I had to do that like for like, follow
it's
for follow.
It's just because it's the Wild West right now. It's brand new, right? It's the first time I've ever been on something when it just launched. As cheesy or ineffective, as long-lasting or short-termed as it will be, I don't really care. Just because I've been dying for any way to find a bunch of strangers who will like the music that I just made.
Right.
We made a weird, eclectic kind of a niche album with black metal and synthwave and like some hip hop to it and some weird stuff, right? It's very weird. I don't know. And so I know for a fact that there's people out there who would for sure dig it. I know. And I also know that there's most people probably won't get it. So I'm trying to find my audience. I'm trying to find somebody who will give a shit. But like on Threads, I'll make a post that just says like crushing black metal, evil synthwave, clever hip hop, and just put enter, and that's just those words. Boom, and then it gets reposted and liked by people, and people have showed up and said like, I need more of this in my life, and I'm like, you are my person, you are my fucking audience. Bam, found one.
Yeah.
So that person, one person, is more valuable than any. There's somebody just on Threads enlightened me to something. The Kantian. I don't know how I would say it, like Kant, the philosopher or writer, whatever he was. I am so unlearned, but Kant with a K.
Yeah.
Basically, the Kantian approach or whatever, or a Kantian attitude would be basically in terms towards like Threads and social media and stuff. It's yes, you're trying to get a blanket of following. You're trying to get as many people as you can. But don't forget that the point is the individual. The one person is every bit as important as those 899 others.
Right.
So yes, we're trying to build a larger platform, but the only reason that I'm trying to get larger amounts of numbers and all these weird NFT bros and things like crypto people and stuff like that are not necessarily pertaining to synthwave or black metal or any of that shit. They are going to like music. They are human beings. Individually, they have thoughts. They like comedy. They want to laugh. They're posting funny shit. They're posting art. All of it's valid, you know. If it eventually trickles down that they unfollow me and I end up instead, because of their algorithmic push, I end up with a bunch of metalheads instead. Great, that's what I want. But in the meantime, I'm posting cool ass fucking art. I got all these AI people, which I got a thing about it. I'm not really reposting the AI pictures because it's just renders, like we've talked about before. Right. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I am going to repost the real artists who spent hours drawing this thing or whatever. If I like it, boom, I get to put it out. So it's way less clean, I guess I got to say, in some ways. Like, it's tidy and clean for what it is, but on Instagram, I want to curate like my perfect page, and everything has to be awesome, and I have to do one perfect post per day or whatever, or maybe a reel or a story every once in a while. This is like spam it out every 10 seconds, and that helps you.
Right.
Like the more you fucking shit out onto this platform, the more it puts you in front of people. And so I'm just posting, like I even was joking around and I was like trying to post. Trick the post. Never mind post. That's three right there. All of them got like 6 likes each. And that's like 18 likes right there just from doing fuck all. That pushed me in front of more people, right?
Man,
so
we should like put a paywall. This is the secret to Threads. Like, you want to learn how to use Threads, people? We got our Thread master Danny Dan over here, and he's going to teach you how to do it. You just got to pay $9.95 a month.
Follow. I'll get you here. Let's follow train everybody.
Yeah. Follow us,
bro. If I knew anything about what these crypto bros are talking about, I feel like I could make money, but I don't. So
me neither.
It's cool. They're selling pictures to each other. I don't get it, but.
I mean, half those Bored Apes are worth like a fraction of a fraction. Like, dude, Justin Bieber bought one for 1.3 mil. It's worth 50K. I don't know what's
going on, but today a picture of this golden monkey with a crown on sold for $1.2 million. 600,000 crypto bucks, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
it's insane. It's
like,
okay,
bucks.
Cool.
Yeah.
And these people are just so like, legend, you're a champion, follow for follow.
Yeah.
Bring this person up. Blah blah blah. Cult. Like.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm speaking weird language, but the good thing about that is all the people who are like me on there are also going, what in the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And like Archspire is not even on there yet. Like,
yeah.
So when they get there, they'll have a bunch of people waiting for them, and I've been doing posts like a band that follows Torify, Malabolgia, their New York death metal, 1.6 thousand or 1,600 followers on Facebook, however you say.
Yeah.
And they got onto Threads. I saw that. I reposted them, said Malabolgia has arrived. Go give them a follow. And I was watching with interest as their little couple likes were ticking up.
Nice.
I'm like, hey, so this is what I'm going to do. Every time I see a new metal band that arrives on Threads, I'm just going to give them a shout out and try to pump them up. All it seems to be is a culture of people trying to pump each other up and find audiences.
I think it's also getting in early because like so I've been running obviously not so when we have a podcast, like I've been looking how to market a podcast and stuff like that. Threads aside, because Threads is really new, but it's you need a social media presence. You need to make your posts quality and quantity, but you need to be consistently posting. Obviously, that's what everybody teaches you, that everybody says. It's like you need to post every single day. That's the other thing, which is damn near impossible when you have a full-time job, when you're making the podcast, and then you're making posts that are not just something you wipe your ass with and give it out, because people can see shit. And then if you just have a bunch of shit, you're literally hindering your thing rather than making. So you have to have some quality to it. And by the time that you're posting on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even, what are the other ones? What did I say? Oh, TikTok, all those things. Once you've made posts, 9 times out of 10, you could kind of make one that kind of fits the algorithm for all 3 as a reel. On YouTube, even like in YouTube, there's so many different things that you got to make all these things for. And like, so I've had the These Are My Friends Instagram page up, which obviously Instagram's old, saturated, whatever, but it still has its point, but it's still really hard to use. I find I get way more traction on TikTok.
Just
and
go
Facebook.
Look at information threads for what you want to see, man. Like that's for anyone or whatever. Not saying I'm good at it, but I'm good enough to get 950 or 960 people to
and so like
to do it in 4 days.
The point that I'm coming from with that is that I think like it's definitely like that is dope. You're obviously learned how to work the system, but then it's also you got on at the right time at the beginning when people are so hyped about this. Yeah, you're on the train. You're not following the train.
Wow.
And so that's what like. And then in a year that we've had the These Are My Friends Instagram, that's been mainly run by me. Mm-hmm. And for the last year, and we've only got to like 170 followers. It's super hard to gain any sort of traction on that. Do I understand social media? To a degree,
do any of us really?
But where obviously it's about having that one thing go viral. But even on TikTok, I've seen accounts that have a video at the top of their page with 1 million views, 100,000 likes, and on TikTok it shows you all the likes that you get. It amalgamates all the likes that you get and puts it at the top. And then it's like, oh, this person has 180,000 likes, which is like, oh, dope, good for you. But then you look and you see that everything else that they've done is like 200 views, 300 views, 400 views. It's nothing. They had one video pop off and then they were just back out of the cycle.
Well, one of your
So
TikToks
hard.
that you threw up there had like $3,000, and it's like most of the other ones have 200.
Yeah,
and they all look the same to me. They're all the same quality. It just depends on what happens to go zoop and get like flung into the machine. Like,
so for instance, for our TikTok, I posted a couple ones of our podcasts and stuff like that, and some will get like 60 likes, some will get 15 likes, whatever. Some will get a couple hundred views, some will
We're
get
too
1,000,
handsome.
and then
you gotta
there's
stick to audio only. Distracting.
It's very. Gosh darn it!
I know.
But the thing is but then I did this one video, like, okay, well, obviously you got to find the algorithm, right? And you got to know the platform that you're doing. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to make a stupid little sketch of, because there's this whole thing for a while there, because the Taylor Swift Eras Tour is happening right now. Apparently was 3 hours long, and people were wearing diapers so they didn't have to go use the bathroom during the show. So they were literally wearing diapers so they can pee and crap or whatever and not miss the show, not have to run to the bathroom. In those big stadiums too, it probably takes a solid 25 minutes to get there, wait in line, use the bathroom, come back.
That's dedication. You're like accepting the fact that you're going to be enjoying yourself so much that
You'll wet
totally
yourself.
shitting yourself is like.
So
I guess they're probably just going to pee, but
I'm hoping that they can control their bowels, but I mean,
but
whatever, man.
maybe they're like, I don't know what's going to happen when I see that girl walk out. I'm just
I might shit myself.
lose every control of my.
I made a TikTok about me like being paying, because the ticket, that was the other huge news article that was $4,000 for Taylor Swift tickets and shit like that. Like, it was
He's
insane.
embarrassed me with it.
So like I walk up and
can't
it's like,
believe it.
I paid $4,000 for the Taylor Swift TikTok, and then for the Taylor Swift concert.
Mad fart sounds.
And then it's like, oh yeah. And then I look to the right of me, and there's somebody just sitting there shitting their pants the whole time while I just paid $4,000 to see this show.
Doesn't even care.
And this
Still
person, so I
enjoy.
made a
Still
funny
best day of
TikTok
their
like
life.
that, based off that story, and that was the one that did well. And it was
Soiled
like,
themselves, still having the best time of their entire life.
Yeah. So like, anyways, I'm just, my point is that like, so I put like 10s of 20s of 30s of TikToks of our podcast, which has something to say for itself on its own, and like some do decently well, according, because we don't have a huge following on TikTok either. But then I post one thing about me shitting my pants at a Taylor Swift concert, and that's the one that gets all the likes. You got to know your platform, you got to know your audience, and you just got to use each one individually. Instagram, I don't have a fucking clue, because Instagram used to be about pictures, and pictures don't mean shit on there anymore. They're basically a glorified rip off of TikTok now.
Yeah.
They're all about the reels. Anyways, so the fact that you're able to get 1,000 followers on a new social media is pretty dope, and hopefully we could do that for These Are My Friends too. Maybe that would be kind of cool.
I was having trouble because I honestly was having trouble switching between accounts on my phone, and I think that they maybe will add it, but I don't know if they're going to. But they don't have it like on Instagram where I can just go between
multiple
my bands
accounts, and
my podcast and all my personal one and everything. That you have to go fully log out, go to the app and log in, type your whole thing, and go in again. Which I can do that, but it just. For me, it just feels like one person per account is, if you're doing less than that, you are fucking it up.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to do it, you have to really do it.
Yeah.
And you have to really, like, have it ready there. Boom. Post your thought that you just had. Like, I posted one, I was just like, just clean my pipe. Or whatever, just clean my weed pipe. Makes me glad that my lungs clean themselves. And it's just like all these people reposting and liking that and stuff. And it's just like, that has nothing to do with my music.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with my podcast.
But that's what Twitter was. That's
right?
So this is exactly like Twitter.
It's the takeover for Twitter, right?
Yeah.
That is what it is. I never did that though. So I'm getting that like sort of vibe for the first time ever, going, oh, this is kind of sick. Just share your stupid thought or share, I'm trying to keep it cool. I'm still trying to like not make people be annoyed and unfollow me. I've got a bunch of dope like black comedians and like models and artists and like fucking goths and all these people of different like LGBT. Oh my God, I can't do it. I can't even say that.
LGBTQ. Did I say it?
LGBTQ.
Thank you.
God, I can't say words today. I'm sorry. But anyways, all sorts of amazing, colorful types of people, and it's just cool to see them all supporting one another so much, like follow for not just the whole like let's grow accounts, but like sharing art all over the place. But no, like people who are clearly of a sort of hip hop genre over here with their backwards hat and whatever, and their dope car and their sick shiny watch are liking things that are just black metal as fuck. And then there's like gnarly goths that are liking the picture of MF Doom that I put on there and stuff like that, right? So it's just like, for me, I'm just making it entirely my own shit. Anything that I think is dope, boom, it goes on the information thing. Because information for me is the amalgamation of all my different talents into music. Like, it's got rap in it, it's got synthwave, it's got metal, it's got all the, programming of hip-hop beats that I do. It's got all the shit all in it, so it's as me as it can be. I'm just going to put all the thoughts that come to me. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Same as our podcast too. I'm going to turn on the one for our podcast and bang those out too, right? But more the merrier is
yeah.
one
No,
of the
I
only
got it
things.
because
The other
I
platforms,
just never got
it's
Twitter,
not
so I
more
never went over to this. But it sounds like it's fruitful. I just never got it. But that's like my ex-girlfriend from 10 years ago. Her dad was like laid up in the hospital for like a year or something like that because of his bad ticker or whatever, and he like just had so much free time,
Right.
so he just started a Twitter, and he ended up making an account for Twitter, basically doing the same thing, follow for follow, this and the other thing, because he had hours and he was just working it, and he got like a Twitter account to like 10K followers.
Yeah.
Just sitting laid up in bed and stuff like that. And like, it's
what
yet
is
again,
the
it's
goal?
all effort, but
how many people do you want, right? Like, because I don't care about getting rich. Do you care about getting rich? No, you just want to, I mean, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say
I
no.
mean,
I'm cool with getting rich if anybody wants to help with that
eventually, it would be cool,
crazy
yeah.
goal. But basically, I just want to feed myself and clothe myself and have a place to live and continue doing this shit.
Of course.
That's the main thing,
supporting
right?
myself doing what I love to do. That is the main goal.
It's the whole dream.
Yeah.
It's all anyone can ask for. And man, I tell you what, if anybody's out there doing their thing of choice and complaining about it, I will fight you.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah. It's just like, because you could be doing
keep
the
working
absolute
hard.
opposite of what
You could be
your
working,
soul needs.
You could be working as hard or harder at shit you don't want to be doing.
Yeah.
So good for you for making it happen, because you got to take control of this one life.
Yeah. So like, yeah. So basically, okay, cool. No, that's a lot more. Like I said, I was on Threads for maybe about 2 hours, and like it was interesting. It seemed like Twitter to me. I've used
one
Twitter
on there
before, but I
yet.
didn't really care about it. But I haven't got on. But it sounds like something that would be
It was-
really good for promoting a podcast too, like our podcast. That's what
Absolutely.
we're trying to do right now.
All we're trying to do is find people that give a shit.
Yeah.
Right? Wade past all the people that don't care and find those people who are going to care and enjoy it. And we'll give them the product. That's it. It's so simple.
Because
It
what is
seems
that
like
saying?
the
One in the
easiest
hand is
thing.
better than 10 in the bush.
Two in the...
2 in the hand is better than 8 in the bush. I don't know what it is, but it's basically the same sentiment. It's true. So anyways, maybe we could start rocking that These Are My Friends thread, just because like I was on Reddit and people
just silly thoughts. Go
literally-
follow us, man.
I saw so many people looking for new podcasts. I was like, I need a new podcast. What are you looking for? I'm looking for random like knowledge podcasts that like they say, and it's like literally all we do here. I was like, oh my God, you'd be perfect. Listen
Mostly
to us.
people are looking for people to support them. So basically all that we have to do, and I think it just helps the culture in general, is if you see something that you like and approve of, you share it, you show other people.
Yeah, respect
they
goes
see
around.
it, do the same shit.
Right.
Hopefully they share my music. Hopefully they share my art.
So many people
Easy.
aren't like that though. They're very, a lot of
it's
people are
competitive.
basically just, it is very competitive, and they're just looking to boost themselves. And at the end of the day, I think the majority of people are the opposite thinking of us, which is fine, but they would rather have a 10,000 follower account where 9,500 of them don't give a shit of what they do, but they get to feel like they're important because they have 10,000 followers, rather than have an account with 500 loyal fans. That's
Real
the kind of the
people doing-
mindset that a lot of people do, because they want to feel like they're famous in some sense or boosted in some sense, right?
But
It's just
also,
like,
what are they doing? They're not even a
you're not gonna
musician
get anywhere with
sometimes.
that. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a person who's just like, I'm me, just a guy, just a
Actually,
dude.
not true, because if you do get 10,000 at least active people, and even if they don't give a fuck, but they're supporting you and stuff like that, then you'll eventually get posts that gets likes that then hit the top of the search
boosts
page.
you, right?
It boosts you. And then there is something to be said about just going for numbers at the beginning. But at the end of the day, like, I don't want anybody to be here that doesn't want to be here. I mean, if you're on my Instagram page following me, that's dope. And
That's
if you
what
don't
I mean.
really care,
If you want to just
fine.
be a number, it's okay, because that means that you're helping me find
exactly, it's support in some
find
sense.
the one person who does give a shit. Like, that's all it is, really. It's just trying to get,
But I think I've got social media figured out. I've been doing it all my life, and it's just like
God.
one of those things where it's just like, oh my God, like I don't know. It feels like you got to know somebody to get it
people are
anywhere.
probably,
But
I
it's
don't
throwing
know.
darts at the wall, throwing ham at the wall, and hoping one sticks.
Yeah,
but-
we got, just the more ham you throw, the more ham you have to throw.
One last thing I want to do to wrap this all up, because that was very good, Dan. That's very impressive, actually. Very good for you, because I haven't had an account over 1,000
sure
followers
I'm-
in years.
I'm sure everybody is bored of this now.
So I
hearing
will
me
move
talk.
it on to the last thing. Is going to be called Who Be Dis. I'm going to give you the real name, and you're going to give me the artist, rap artist.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Do you know? It's a little bit of trivia. So
Oh, dear.
the game show is Who Be Dis. All right. So Sean Carter.
Sean Carter? Isn't it he like that Beautiful Girls or whatever? Or no, that's Sean Kingston. Fuck.
Sean Kingston.
Sean Carter. Is that it's fucking Jay-Z?
Right. Correct. Bing.
Dumb. That was dumb. Carter,
Aubrey
obviously.
Graham.
Aubrey Graham? Is that... Oh, fuck. Who is that? Damn. Who is that?
Ovo.
Oh, it's Drake?
Yep.
Is Aubrey?
Aubrey Graham. Yeah, his act's Aubrey Drake Graham, but I obviously couldn't say that.
Okay.
Do you know who Christopher Wallace is?
Chris Wallace. Fuck. I feel like I should know these. Who's that?
got shot. I mean, that doesn't really help.
Oh, is that Biggie?
Yeah.
Biggie's Chris Wallace?
Yeah.
Man, I'm learning right now. I feel like I should know these ones.
Yeah, because I know rap and hip hop is kind of your game, so I was hopefully, but I mean, it's still hard. Like,
I listen
you know
to
them
it
as the
doesn't mean
Notorious B.I.G. It's
I
like,
retain anything.
have you listened to that new Christopher Wallace EP yet? It was beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah. I knew him when he was in high school.
I love the Wallaces.
Nasir Jones.
Well, duh. That's Nas.
I probably wouldn't have got that.
No?
No, yeah. Did you know that because they said Nas in his name, or
no,
you just know that? Yeah.
I know that, yeah.
Austin Post.
Post. Is that Post Malone?
Yep.
I didn't know that was why.
Dwayne Carter Jr.
Dwayne Carter Jr.
Yeah. Dwayne Carter. This is probably the one I would have got, potentially.
Is it Lil Wayne?
Right. It is.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar Duckworth.
Duckworth?
That's his last name. You know who that is.
Young Duckworth.
That's P. Diddy. What?
Okay.
It's Kendrick Lamar, but his last name's Duckworth.
Okay.
Carlton Douglas Ridenauer. This is going to be a hard one. I kind of there at the bottom of the list.
Give it to me.
Chuck D. Public Enemy.
Okay. Chuck D.
And then, same vein, William Dayton Jr.
Willie D.
We got Chuck D. We got Willie D. No, it's Flava Flav.
Oh. I just threw it out there.
And then Antoine Patton. I don't know if you know who that is.
Antoine Patton? I don't know.
It's Big Boy.
Okay, Big Boy.
So that's the last one.
Okay.
So,
well, that was enlightening. I didn't know even half of them.
Yeah, it's just a cool little game. It's just like nobody. I mean, I'd be very impressed. I mean, obviously they're huge fans, probably like know that and stuff like that. But it's like, that's Lil Wayne.
I spent
it's not
so
Dwayne.
long.
Yeah.
I spent so long listening to that underground hip hop kind of stuff, Sage Francis, Atmosphere,
Aesop
totally. Rock, Del
Yeah.
the Funky Homo Sapien, Deltron 3030, whatever.
Slug.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, well, that's Atmosphere.
Atmosphere, yeah, I met him.
For sure. You met him, right?
Yeah.
We talked about this. Yeah, cool, yeah.
And I'm like, I dig that stuff, but I'm not a massive fan, and half the people wanted to smack me. It's like, holy fuck, dude, you met Slug?
You met Slug, yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
I just saw him, and I just took a picture with him, and he's just like...
You guys are weird.
Yeah, I was like, could you sign my girlfriend's iPhone case? That's all I got. And he's like, fuck, yeah, I guess so. You guys are weird, and just signed it.
That is weird. Yes.
It was weird. I was pretty intoxicated.
So what happened to signing titties? God damn it.
Could you sign my balls, Slug? I want to give it to my girlfriend.
It'll be the first time. It's going to be $59. It says here on the sign. He's got it in the price list here. Ball signing.
Yeah. Tits free, balls $100. Yeah. Slug, sign my slugs.
Put your COVID mask. Okay.
Here you go, dude.
Stretch it out more. Okay. There we go.
Anyways, I think that's
just
it
on someone's back. Here, turn around. Gonna sign this dude's ball sack. Just hold this. Anyway, you're welcome for the visual. I think that's our cue to get the hell out of here. Let you guys go back to your lives. Enjoy threading. Have fun. I know you're rushing off to do it
inside life
immediately.
hack. Yep. We got from Danny Boy here. Just basically shitpost.
I'm a master poster.
You shitpost is basically what I learned from that.
Dude, yeah, I'm not even a good shit poster. I'm afraid. I don't even have the gall that some of these people have. But if you don't care, that's your shit.
Then shit post away, and I got to start doing it for TrMF. And then what else? What was the first thing we went into? Oh yeah, industry plans. Love them or hate them, you got to respect the game. Are y'all good over there?
Nope. Yes. Good. Back to recording. Excuse me.
Yeah. Dan got too excited and elbowed his keyboard. Anyways, we're just wrapping up here. That's it. So industry plants, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, and don't be afraid of the rain. That's it. That's all I got from this.
That sounds good. And go to that new Rastafarian app, Dreads.
Dread.
Anyway, stop.
Nice.
Okay,
all right.
terrible.
Peace, y'all.
Hello? That was a weird noise I was making with wind in my throat. Yeah, you guys, movie filmmakers can take that sound if they would like, free of charge for making ghostly effects. I'll do one more for you. Okay, here we go. For maybe like a spooky cemetery or something. You're welcome. I just wanted to start off this episode by giving back.
Oh boy!
Not too much. So if I do my Mickey Mouse, I gotta be able to do the Mickey Mouse pitch or else it's too loud.
Oh boy!
Okay, still too much. Well, maybe I just won't do that for this one.
This is weird.
I apologize because you have found yourself here among us. We are forever grateful. Maybe we should try and put very large gaps in between everything that we say, and then run it through one of those AI editors, and maybe it sounds normal. Or we just can't afford that shit, so you guys have to suffer through whatever that just was. What's up? Audio technical, that's a...
Audio technical difficulty.
Okay.
Walking test. Did you hear about this guy that was a plant?
His name was Bob Plant. He was a singer. He could hit most of the octaves.